Freedom is the right to tell what they do not want to hear. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Tired of the same repetitive government narratives? Then wave goodbye to the distractions and rhetoric of corporate media. For this is Anti-Media Radio.
But I want to get the language right. The big government is in trouble.
You're all a bunch of slaves! Bunch of slaves!
What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another.
What's your definition of me?
And now, here's your host, S.M. Gibson.
Don't grow tired of doing good. My name is S.M. Gibson, and you are listening to Anti-Media Radio. It is May the 3rd, 2016. Rigged or not, real or fake, Big Daddy is now the GOP nominee. It is inevitable. It's happening. Lion Ted's out of the race. It's a lot of people didn't think we would ever get to this day, but here we are. Donald. Oh yeah, by the way, Bernie won too. Yeah. So if anybody thinks that's still a thing on that side, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in Kevin Knight, our wonderful co-host. Kevin, what's going on?
Hey man, glad to be back with you fellas.
Fantastic. And I would bring in Shannon, but he has been fired in the past 30 seconds in my mind. So
John Kasich is the only one left standing. And man, can you imagine the Vegas odds on that for John Kasich to get this far?
Who could imagine that? I mean,
seriously, if you had some Las Vegas bet on John Kasich to at least make it to the final three, man, the odds on that had to have been at least 1,000-1.
Listen, let me tell you something. Austin Peterson's still in the race too.
I won't talk about.
That's him. Only because he's not.
There's
in the
no
race.
reason to bring up his name on our radio show.
Look,
None. Zero. You're fired.
Yeah, I ain't nothing.
You're fired.
Austin Peterson is in the race by default, I think.
But I'm just saying him as an example. You can say Vermin Supreme or John McAfee or Gary
I'm
Johnson.
sorry. I thought I just fired you a second ago.
Whoever.
Welcome to the Anti-Media Radio Show. I'm your host, Shannon Madden.
Raising the black flag.
Mutiny.
Anyways, yeah, Kevin, can you really believe we are here? This has happened?
No, I think all of us and most people that, and shoot, at this point, who can't point to somebody who didn't say he's not going to make it? People that have never been wrong that I would almost go to every day as a very reputable source. Everybody was wrong. I don't think anybody took this run this serious.
No, I don't know when. Okay, I don't know when I realized it. I realized it at some point, but it wasn't like it the whole time. I was like, yeah, he's going to win. Of course I wasn't. I thought, look, it was Rubio.
Oh, yeah, we talked about it numerous times.
Rubio, and at some point, it just clicked with me. Oh, no, this is about to happen. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. And here we are. And just if anybody's interested, whether it's real or fake, Hillary Clinton will be throttled.
Oh, she will.
Throttled. Definitely.
I don't know. She has a way of slipping her way out of little tight spots like this.
The only reason I say that maybe not, that you could be right, is because already everything we've seen so far has been completely unpredictable.
Yes,
So-
no.
It would not.
Once you figure out Trump's game plan, it hasn't been unpredictable at all, because once you figured it out that he was just swatting politicians away one by one, guess what's happened? That's exactly what he's done, and another one bit the dust tonight.
It's a whole. I will say this: that when it comes to actually getting
And that's
on the
what he's
ballot,
going to do to her.
Well, it's one thing getting a popular vote, but getting delegates and having a ground game. You know, obviously, for a little while, it looked like Cruz was actually going to come back, and he might actually put up
I'm
a fighting
telling
chance.
you that I'm not convinced that this wasn't all set up from the beginning to get him to be president. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not going to say, I can firmly believe that.
I don't think anybody anywhere is trying to set up Donald Trump to be president, or at least not up until now.
I don't think the
now
RNC
it's pretty
was.
much his race to lose, at least on the GOP side. But he's going up against Hillary Clinton. Do you know how evil that woman is?
He's going to kill her.
I don't know about that now.
He's going to destroy her in that
think we
election.
need to make this spicy and put some money on it.
Telling you.
Of course, this is the state of Alabama. That is illegal, and I do not participate in illegal activities in any shape, form, or fashion.
But bartering, we do.
Yeah. So let's make a barter on it. Oh man,
some wampum.
Gosh. And again, though, at the end of the day, there is no difference in whether Ted Cruz was still here or Donald Trump or this, that, and the other. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be business as usual. It really is.
That's it.
And again, we've talked about it privately off air. You know, you've made the mention that if Trump gets anything elected, anything that Trump has brought to the table during the primaries, if anything gets passed, it'll be that damn wall. Now, I have a different opinion about that, but whatever.
Did you see the exchange Cruz had? He had some fiery combos.
He had some very mean things to say about Daddy.
No, but that he got in with the Trump supporter, and he was talking about
needs to be spanked, or the other one.
The other one where he told him, he's like, Donald Trump said that he's not building that wall, and he quoted the article which he said it. And just the Trump supporters just like, line Ted Cruz, line Ted.
Could have been Donald himself saying it, right?
Uh-huh.
What about Donald coming out and insinuating that Ted Cruz's father, Raul Rafael, was new JFK's assassin? How about that? All because the Inquirer mentioned it.
That story, we've talked about that story.
There happened to be a picture of him there in the same place that I believe George Bush was as well, George H.W. Bush.
But that's all they're going on. It is a photograph, to my understanding. It is a photograph.
Yeah, I mean, we see videos of police
killing
citizens these days. And
he lived in New Orleans. He was from Cuba.
And I know he ended up in Dallas.
And he worked for the Bushes. There was a lot of connections.
Cruz's father did work for the Bushes?
Yeah.
A lot of connections. So, yeah, I don't know. It is an interesting story.
It is an interesting story.
It does appear to be him in that photograph.
I mean, it does look like him, but it's so many photographs that I think we've all seen where they're taking the actresses or the actors and showing that they're all at every single disaster. It's the same lady supposedly in every picture. And some of those pictures genuinely look like, you can make an argument that it's the same person. They look like it in the photograph, put it that way. You can make that argument. Yes, there are similarities. But, looking at finer details, earlobes and just spacing, other stuff that people look at, it's difficult to do that in a photograph as old as this one is. I don't doubt, it seems like a lot of people from that time period seem to be a little more dressed a little more uniformly. Mm-hmm. And usually had the same kind of comb over, didn't have a lot of the hairstyles they have. So it is great. It's an interesting story. I'm surprised that Trump would mention it and felt like he even needed to mention it.
Well, I mean, that's kind of it's going to kind of be interesting what Trump has to mention about Hillary Clinton.
It's coming
to a national audience.
Vince Foster's going to come
to
up.
a bunch of people that have cried
Vince
about
Foster will be
theories
said
for years and years and years, and everybody, conspiracy theory this and conspiracy. Then suddenly we're going to have a man announcing it. Not just any man.
Donald
Daddy.
Trump.
Let me tell you
Daddy.
something. For Donald Trump to repeat a story that had been whispered for maybe a month at the most about Ted Cruz's dad, and we're talking about stuff that people have talked about for 20-something odd years with the Clintons, he's going to bring it all up.
Oh, I'm sure, no doubt.
There's no telling what he's going to say. He may say stuff we don't even know about. Knowing him.
It's a possibility.
But I think, I feel so many people really think this is to put Hillary in the White House, and I don't see it.
I don't think so anymore. There was a time where I thought that this was all a...
No, I never did. I never thought the establishment...
I was open to it, put it that way.
I never thought... I just knew the establishment was never behind her. They're may be forced to be behind her right now. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I mean, they're still the Clintons. I mean, the establishment is still, I would say, still behind her when we talk about establishment. So, I mean, surely they're still behind her. Who else are they going to be behind?
Man, we got to get
But
used to
how
saying
establishment
President
is
Clinton
Trump?
again.
That's the thing. How far does that go? How much is that show? And how much, is he an outsider?
I think he's more of an outsider than what people realize, but there's a different playing field.
We'll see where people line up.
Well, I don't necessarily think there's an outside and an inside and a no side. There's variations of people that go in between, like lobbyists, for example. Lobbyists are extremely influential, but, you wouldn't necessarily call them a part of the establishment, or would you? You wouldn't put them together surely on the same scale as, say, like the CFR or the Trilateral Commission as far as influence.
That's true. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and go to the phone lines, area code 404. Thank you for calling Anti-Media Radio. This is your host, S.M. Gibson. Tell us your name and where you're calling from tonight. Thank you for calling Anti-Media Radio. Looks like we lost our caller there.
Hello.
Yeah, so...
Conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy. It's all a big conspiracy.
That might have been Hillary calling.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's all right.
We have been assimilated.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'm really curious to see where people line up with Trump because I want to see how.
Do you know how many Bernie fans are so pissed off at the Clintons right now? And
There's no way in hell that any of those Bernie fans are going to vote for Trump.
You're
if that's what
insane.
No, you're nuts.
What planet are you living on?
You are a crazy
What planet do you live on?
Crazy person.
Bernie people, as many.
You think they're that butthurt that they would run out to the polls for Trump?
Yes, I do.
If they don't go out for Trump,
they will not vote for her.
Wow.
If they don't go out for Trump, they may not go out at all.
I think you're more to the point there, Kevin.
But
I really
there
do.
will be some that vote for Trump.
I agree. But I guess degree depends on what degree.
I can't say that nobody or none of the ex Bernie supporters that are going to get their little butts hurt when Hillary comes out with both middle
when we
fingers
say I love the mental image. When we say Bernie supporters, though, I mean then we have to differentiate between the casual Bernie supporter who just got on the bandwagon versus somebody who is ideologically on board and has been for a while. I could see them, even all the delegates that.
What about the Bernie bots, though?
Do you think they'll be jumping ship?
Bernie's dank memes.
They're not going to Hillary. They're not.
No, I'm sure not. Have we heard? We're still waiting for the inevitable Bernie to say, "All right, guys, remember this is Trump we're going against. We're all one big family. Kumbaya."
That party business is over.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I don't. I doubt for a second.
Because there are
still Democrats.
Young people will not be told to vote for a party just because they have to, because she represents every single thing wrong. I'm telling you.
Young people, you're right. But if those people were so-called Bernie supporters, then I don't necessarily consider them really Bernie supporters if they jump ship and ideologically are so to the point that, hey, well, you know what? Trump sounds like I'm going to go vote for Trump. Those are not what I consider Bernie supporters. Those are people that are just sunshine.
I bet you Trump and Bernie have more in common policy-wise than...
Well, let's go ahead. We've been talking about the politicians for a minute and all of the people that are going to vote for them. Let's bring up a story that's on antimedia.org right now about the fact that half of voting Americans believe that the elections are rigged. So if half of Americans believe that the elections are rigged, then there's probably a good 50% right there that's not going to go vote.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's always the case. Though.
So we're talking about something
That's every election.
where the outcome is rigged from moment one. And the fact that the people that are going out to vote for them and still waving their little Republican and Democrat flags and have their little well-placed stickers on their car supporting their love and support for Trump and let's make America great again, or, let's
here's what
party
we're
it up
dealing
and give
with,
everybody
though.
some free shit.
What we're dealing with is we're supposedly witnessing right now, playing out in front of us, a scenario where, yes, it's rigged. Of course it's rigged. And all of a sudden it's not rigged anymore.
Yeah, but when did it not become not rigged?
Trump.
My ass, dude.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly my point.
And see, the thing is, that's why you are completely way out of your mind if you think Trump is going to go over Hillary in the general election.
No, man.
But now, look,
wrong.
the vote totals may or may not suggest what you're saying, but Hillary's going to be the president because she's bought and paid for corporate America. Come on, man.
She is.
Did you? I think
course
Trump,
she is.
Nobody except for all of these people out here running around waving the Trump.
I don't want either one of them to win.
I don't either.
Look,
because
that's not what this is
all
about.
of them are going to continue to lead us down the same dark path that the United
Of
States government
course.
has led us down for centuries now.
Look, and here's the thing. When Trump's slamming these people, it's hilarious. Of course it's hilarious. I want to say all this stuff to these people.
So even though,
but that doesn't mean the man should be president of the United States because he should not be.
And even though what we're talking about is general news right now, at the same time, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. And let's go ahead. I'll play devil's advocate. Okay, let's say that he finally wins over the hearts and souls and minds of the people that put the presidents in place, and they finally say, okay, we'll go ahead and roll the dice on this guy. I mean, it's
Oh, that's what we're about to see because we saw it started with Rick Perry.
He's stepping on too many toes. He's bringing up stuff he ain't supposed to bring
They
on
don't
national
care.
TV.
Look, at the end of the day, you got to play ball, and they're going to make it look like they're playing ball, whether they are behind the scenes or not.
And we already know the answer to that.
They're going to put a good show on for TV, I believe.
Well, they're doing it right now. I mean, this has been definitely by far in my lifetime the most entertaining presidential election. I mean, can you think of one
agreed.
that
of course,
even close to this entertaining?
Now you're going to get a handful of these so-called, corporate Republicans come out for Hillary. That's going to happen, I think. But it's not going to be many, and it's not going to make any difference. But I think there'll be that kind of. But I think for the most part, they're all going to line up behind Trump.
Well, let's remember too that the as much as important as the popular vote is, we still have the Electoral College, and that's going to be, that's Gore and Bush. That's what happened there. Gore won the
thankfully the Electoral
vote.
College is not corruptible. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, it's all corruptible. Every
Absolutely.
bit of it.
It's a puppet show. All it is a puppet show behind the scenes.
But here's
Decisions are being made one way or the other. Excuse me.
Yeah, but in my opinion, there's ball being played between both sides, between Cruz's camp and Trump's camp. So you've either got a smart group of people that are controlling both of them. There's so many. I don't believe that there's one particular group that is all controlling. There's several different groups that have their that are vying for influence, and how much influence is going to go which way, I think, is what we're going to end up seeing.
But I think at the end of the day, they've all passed the same background check too. At the Mitt Romneys, the Hillary Clintons, I believe was supposed to be Marco Rubio, but the Bushes, that whole clique.
Bush. Jeb.
Wonder
what Jeb's doing right now.
I don't know. Poor guy.
Man, that was your dude, man. That was my horse in this race.
He was funny.
I thought Jeb would be standing up on stage right now, and this whole Trump nonsense would have dissipated.
I did too.
We all did. Everybody who didn't they knew it was going to be a Bush and Clinton that we were waiting on.
But really, I really thought Rubio for a while. But either way, it's none of them. It don't matter who you thought because it's not them. Because it's a Donald J. Trump. listed as WWE superstar on their website.
He is.
A WWE superstar will be the president of the United States.
I always thought it would have been Jesse Ventura.
I agree.
This would have been a great time for Jesse to run.
Yeah.
But Jesse knows some shit that you know.
I think he likes.
We only guess about.
Dude,
you know?
screw that guy, man. That dude.
I like Jesse Ventura. Come on now.
Dude,
What do you got against Jesse?
Well, as more of a libertarian-minded person who's against collectivism in all forms, I'll just say that he's a little more. He's a leftist socialist, which, if that's your forte, so be it. But
there's worse people than Jesse.
Oh no, there's
all my hipster friends are socialists. Come on now.
No, here's the thing. I've listened
to a certain degree.
I've listened to a lot
Are
of
they?
arguments he's made about.
Dirty
You're one of my
socialist.
hipster friends. Dirty socialist.
I love a lot of the true stuff. His conspiratorial stuff is interesting to watch. To get into conversations.
Oh yeah,
like
some of
that.
that's really interesting.
Oh, he was cool, man. And when in Minnesota, he was ripping it up, dude.
Yeah.
Of course, he like entered like the best possible situation you could get into to be a governor. Excuse me.
He did. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take another telephone call. Area code 910. Thank you for calling Anti-Media Radio. This is your host, SM Gibson. Tell us your name and where you're calling from tonight.
Hello.
Lost it again.
Wow.
Hopefully we're not having problems here.
We're getting pranked, man. I think that's what it is.
Has been known to happen from time to time.
Some of the other hosts on UCY, I'm sure.
Maybe.
Well,
So yeah, we're looking at it. You're going to have a president daddy unless they put the foot down. Man. The foot.
Well, we're going to have a president whether we like it or not.
It's possible.
That's the downside of all this, I'm afraid.
Area code 361. Thank you for calling Anti-Media Radio. This is your host, SM Gibson. Tell us your name and where you're calling from tonight.
Gentlemen, my name is Michael, and I'm calling you from South Texas. And are you at all surprised that Cruz had every intention of staying in until the bitter end, and then less than 7 hours after the JFK,
the melt.
That's what I said. Yeah, how ironic.
I mean, that's really odd. That up until last night, he was taking this to the bitter end, never Trump hashtag and blah blah blah, and then right after that, today he drops. I mean, after his meltdown.
Well, it was obvious. He knew he was dropping out this morning because he was going in and going to say everything he wanted to say. He knew he was out this morning.
I think he was. He knew he was out when that 10-year-old kid stood up and shouted, "You suck." that was the death. That was the death knell. But you boys brought up something interesting earlier, and about Trump and his participation in this race, and how it's kind of gone through an evolution, so to speak. I personally thought when he first came in, I thought he was working hand in hand with Hillary. He was just into
yeah, we did too.
Split the party. And you know what? I still kind of think that was it. But, the dude wrote a book called The Art of the Deal. And maybe he pulled a Vader and he renegotiated the deal,
That's totally possible.
Yeah, he has. I don't think he has any plans for her to be the president.
Pray I don't.
But
further.
let's not forget that probably somewhere on that email server that was hacked, there's a little Excel spreadsheet called the Clinton Death List, who she's probably updating right now, adding names to it.
Yeah, you're right.
I think
so. In the end, Trump Force One can take, have a massive engine failure, or lone nut gunman from the Fair Play for Cuba committee could show up or something like that. But Hillary is the one.
Thank you. That's what I've been saying this whole entire
hey, listen, WikiLeaks says there was 42 emails between her and Lynn Foster de Rothschild. That's the wife of Evelyn de Rothschild. And these are like kind of kissy face emails.
Kissy.
I'm not going to say they're lesbian love letters, but they kind of read like lesbian love letters. If she's getting it on with the wife of the richest man in the world, yeah, I'd say she's the president. Get used to it.
God, if I didn't know what Hillary looked like, that would kind of be a hot story if you think about it.
Oh man, have you seen Lynn Foster de Rothschild? She ain't no looker, man.
Yeah, okay.
I'm still saying.
But anyways, gentlemen, I appreciate what you guys do. I appreciate all your energy, and you know what it's like? It's nice to hear somebody from kind of like not Yankee land. So you boys do what you keep on doing.
Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate you for listening.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, man, that's a good call.
Yeah,
guy's got a voice for radio too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He does. But
he can be my replacement when you fire me again.
We should have.
Which will probably happen very soon.
I'm working on it. Damn.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, there goes the sound.
There goes the sound.
Right as.
A janky cord is what I got.
I think we got a janky sound director is what we got.
I got the shaft tonight.
So yeah, it looks like that's what we're looking at. And we are looking if we're going to see how rigged it is. What's rigged and what's not here, because Kevin, you believe that Trump is like a real outsider.
No, not completely.
Not completely.
In what extent? To what extent?
You tell me.
As much money as he's worth, he's an outsider. Are you kidding me?
Well, of course. No, there's lots of people that are like, he's not part of the secret societies. He's this other kind of thing.
Then how do you get that much money, man? Come on.
He's on a different level.
People get money.
Not that
people
much
get money.
Not that much money. Not in America.
We know that he's got some strong...
That guy's a hustler.
He is. He's got a lot of influence.
He's definitely hustled his way to,
it's not like we just
the
heard
most
about
powerful
this man.
seat in the free world. Damn. So
he's a tough guy, man.
I don't know. I think that's...
I don't think he's establishment, but he's definitely not your common everyday man. That's for sure.
And I just think he could be 100% in the bag. Like 100%.
It wouldn't surprise me. But I don't think so.
I go back and forth on that. I do. Sometimes I don't think he is, and sometimes I do.
You know what? The caller made a great point a minute ago, and it's something I had kind of gave a little bit of thought to, but hadn't really concretely decided. I thought that's what was going on. But he made the point about, hey, could it have been that Hillary and Trump were in cahoots together? And maybe not, but at some point, Donald has realized, hey, listen, I run this bitch now.
Yeah, I got some steam behind me. I'm
gonna do this. Screw y'all. Screw off.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that.
I think that totally is plausible. Even if he had never been working with Hillary, even if there was no even kind of little, hey, not
but
a task.
Who has out of the two of them? Who has a more competitive nature?
Oh, Trump, definitely.
Are you sure about
that?
that?
Yeah, Hillary thinks she's entitled to it. There's a difference.
Hillary has done a lot of things to entitle herself to it. How many people?
I do think
that
she
death list we were referring to
feels
earlier?
more entitled to it than he does.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, because she's been in.
No matter what the situation
I don't think he thinks he's entitled to it. I think he's going at it, and he thinks he can win it. And I think that's what the whole reason why he's doing what he's doing. He'd have got out of this a long time ago if he had not been seen.
Well, he's never at any point had any reason to get out of this race.
Well, if he had ever been.
Especially not now. It is his to lose.
Yeah, he's been winning since the day he got in.
But at the same time, though, is it really anybody's to win or lose to begin with? And that's
right. And that's the argument.
I have to keep bringing it back here,
And I'm glad you do, and that's the argument, because I'm telling you that Donald Trump, outside of some, unfortunate thing that happens,
unfortunate,
which hopefully, you don't want that to happen.
No, of course not.
But outside of something like that happening, he's going to be the president. He's going to be.
I'm on board with you. I agree.
I'm gonna be the dissenting voice on this one.
You're wrong.
Let's place
you got to follow the money, man.
Let's place a barter on it.
And take that for what you will. But that's why I think this guy. I don't think this is just a new deal that was cut this week that he's going to be the guy for him.
Well, Reince Priebus really hated Donald Trump, had some nasty things to say about him as representative of the RNC, and now he's turned around.
The Republican Party, I do believe, legitimately hates him. But Donald Trump has friends outside the Republican Party.
Oh, certainly.
No, I do believe the Republicans just despise him, and that's hilarious.
And they're stuck with him now. I mean, John Kasich is their only alternative. And he has how many delegates? Less than 200?
Fate. What Ted Cruz said this morning was not fate.
No,
that was real.
No, that's as real as you get. That's when keeping it real goes wrong.
Well, some of it was, Ted Cruz being his phony politician self, but I think there was a lot of just like, I can't believe you people are still buying this business.
There's some feels there.
He's like, you don't believe me, but you believe him? He's a bigger liar than I am.
There's a lot of people believing him too. He's going to make America great again.
Oh,
Daddy.
Is he?
Nope.
I don't believe he will.
I don't think he's going to make it to the big chair, but I don't know. We'll see. I've been wrong before.
I think he will.
I mean, if it was an actual legitimate election, I would say, yeah, you're right. But this is not a legitimate election. It's a fucking puppet show.
Of course it is. Look, we'll see. We shall see. And we could, and see, here's, okay. I want to keep bringing this up because I know there's a lot of people that do believe this, is that like it is 100% rigged, both sides, all this. And then Trump has just, because he has $10 billion, whatever it is, he has the money, he has the ability to put himself on TV every 5 seconds. He just can generate all this media.
Yeah.
And because of the ratings that he gets, and,
he has gotten some much more valuable TV time.
That's it. So basically, the argument is that Trump is just some like crazy, arrogant, rich guy, and he's just interjected himself into the system entirely. Do you believe?
And it didn't hurt that he already had a lot of valuable.
I think that's what most people believe.
On-camera experience to be able to not only work the audio, work an audience, but also be able to work a camera, work an interviewer, work every single person that comes into contact his way as far as what he wants to talk about, steer the conversation, and what Donald's got going on.
I'm not convinced that's not true either. I don't know.
All while being politically ignorant of most important
not knowing anything about anything.
He's a man of his craft, is he not?
Yeah,
he's a smooth operator, dude.
He is.
He did it. He just came in there and snatched this sucker out from
and
under
look,
the feet
hey,
of
I want to
everybody.
say this too. We've talked on this show at great lengths about how we don't want to talk about Donald Trump, yada yada yada.
Here we are.
But this happens. We're here. Like he's going to be the president. This is probably the time to address this situation. What do you do?
Well, it's important to recognize, too, because we're going to see this again. We'll see this again. This is going to be the playbook. This is going to be, you watch, even the left, the right.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to look back and
I'm
say,
not
look,
so sure I'm not so sure this wasn't
a twist on another playbook.
Mm-hmm. Because Trump has given too many signs, little hints throughout the years that this was coming.
You think so? He's been asked about it. But a man of his being as outspoken as he has, when you say a lot of people get asked.
The fact that he's tweeting out, make America great again 2-3 years ago or whatever it was.
Oh, well, he put in his, now back up now, he actually had tried to run in 2000?
In 2000 with the
that's
Party.
17 years. So you're not.
But he's always flirted with the idea about throwing his hat in and kind of, put his toe in the water more or less.
Just to see if he could do it.
Mm-hmm. But now he actually jumped in and did it. And he's swimming.
He's doing it. He's out swimming most of the competition.
But was this the whole? He's been planning this. Just what was he involved with something? I just don't know. Is he rogue or not? That's the real question surrounding.
What gets me the argument.
Well, go ahead.
Just the argument that the establishment is backing him and that he's gotten here because he's so-called establishment. The statements that he's made about NATO several times and continues to make and just made at this last recent big foreign policy speech he gave, you would not have a establishment puppet up there speaking like he is, especially about NATO. And, of course, the 28 pages that
But what about the Richard Haas deal?
I think he probably knows that to get anywhere, that's something that has to happen. At the end of the day...
So you think that's more of a brokering a deal?
Probably, because he knows he has to have... I mean, all of the people that he ends up picking as advisors, I would say the majority are going to be CFR people, as most presidents do pick their people from CFR. So it's no surprise that the boss would be somebody that he would have contact with directly. Richard Haas has been that close to every president we've had. Just like
that's not about the change.
No, certainly not. So that's probably, if anything, a tie. That's him getting acquainted.
But does that not show?
And trying to get to be an establishment character.
But does that not show that Trump is establishment already? If that's because he said that a while back. It's not like that just came out of his mouth.
Yeah, that was back in I think November.
Mm-hmm.
And then he met with Haas like a month later.
What was the exact language Trump used?
He was asked, Kelly, it was in a debate, and he was asked to give, he's known for telling people that he's going to, his advisors, he's got people to take care of this and that. Well, she asked him to actually name an advisor, to name at least one person that he could name that he would pick. And he named Richard Haas as his foreign policy advisor. Richard Haas, of course, is the head of the Council on Foreign Relations, arguably probably the most influential organization in the U.S. In the country right now.
And to break it down, that would mean the foreign policy would be
globalist in nature. It's exactly. In fact, it's funny because you can find more information about the CFR on YouTube, but there's some great clips out there, including one of Hillary Clinton speaking at the CFR and saying, it's going to be back here now. We won't have so far to walk to be told what we have to do. It's a very influential organization, man. And if you're going to be a president, you're definitely going to be playing ball with that organization.
I want to get more into this topical bit in the second hour, but how do you think Trump's going to respond with Iraq and the Middle East? Because he's said everything you can say about it.
I think, he's mentioned China several times.
Well, yeah.
Right, and what's going on in the East. What's one thing that Richard Haas has even said is that they're advocating getting out of the Middle East and focusing more on Central Asia or Asia, more or less, and trying to combat some of the growing strength there because obviously the Middle East has been a quagmire. It's gotten us nowhere.
Okay, well, if he actually is proven that he is going to do exactly what he's told, and don't worry about Hillary. I got this thing covered. Don't worry about it. I'm going to do the job for you because that's the only way he's going to become president of the United States. If you think that he's going to pull this same act once he gets to go through the front doors of the White House, and he's just going to go in there, snap his fingers, and talk about this is disgusting and don't look me in the eyes and all this other crap, you're sadly mistaken. He's going to go in there and do exactly as he's told. Believe it. The only thing he'll get done, maybe, is build that damn wall.
I wouldn't think that about anybody else, but Donald Trump is not.
You're a crazy person. You apparently don't know how American government works.
Come on now.
Come on, dude. That's what I'm talking about. The candidates go in and do exactly
I will be
complete.
I will be honest with you. With this situation, I see it both ways. I don't know. I still haven't figured out if I believe Trump is this outsider, this crazy outsider, or just it's all
okay. Let me give you
show.
Let me give you an example.
I don't know.
Barack Obama picked a group of guys. He picked a panel that were in charge of looking at everything collectively and deciding what he should do and where he should go to clean this stuff up. Mm-hmm. And several people on the panel actually quit and discussed because they had given him plans. I forget what the guy's name was. And this was like the first 2 years of this administration. They all got up basically and quit because they spoke out because they were giving the president suggestions on what to do about getting the economy shaped up. And the president was doing exactly the opposite of what they were doing, of what they were suggesting to him. Obviously Trump knows that he's got a system that he's going to have to work with.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think if anybody will push, Trump's going to, even if he has to follow that plan, he's going to put the Trump spin on it. I don't think for a second, you're right. I don't want to sound like I believe Trump's going to come in there and turn the house over upside down overnight. Not a bit do I believe that. But I think we're going to see some pushback from him.
Now, here's a question. Like, say with the torture, for instance, or even the wall for that matter. Do you think he believes any of that stuff, or is that legitimately him, like,
I don't believe
reverting back to the
wall.
WWE and just going as hardcore as he can?
Getting what it takes, right?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't believe. I don't think he believes that about. He certainly does not believe that about either. He's a hypocrite because he hires tons of immigrants and tons of foreign workers, illegal or not, however you want to classify them. I don't use that term.
Or
personally.
you just don't think that he doesn't believe it?
No, I don't think he believes that. I don't think he believes half of what he says, if even that. If it turned around tomorrow and it turned out to be that the American people, for whatever reason, had been convinced that the wall was no longer the best thing for America, that it would cost too much or whatever, I would think we would see him turn around like that.
So do you think Donald Trump will get into office, look at the American people and say, oh, yeah, the thing about that wall is it's a really good idea, but we can't because...
I think it's possible. I think and I was thinking about this the other day. How
That
would he
goes
do it?
exactly right back to what I was just saying a moment ago.
I think he would talk everybody into...
That's what I mean. And he could have people believe him hand over foot.
Yeah, and they'd be like, yeah, we don't need that wall.
Well, you're right. We've never actually been to the border to see it ourselves. So, I believe Trump when he says he's been there. Obviously, he knows it.
Yeah.
I feel sad
He's
inside.
the only one that's ever been.
I feel sad inside that we have devoted this much time to this topic. I just leave it at
Well,
that.
he's going to be... I usually would. But, man, this is a train coming down on us. And if it makes you happy, we'll avoid the subject in the second hour.
It really, we have gone kind of ad nauseum with it tonight because, it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
I know.
It really doesn't.
That's a great point.
It doesn't.
It's a great point.
I mean, again, we've talked about all the finer nuances of this puppet show that we've seen, but it's still a fucking puppet show. The end.
It's like talking about it's like talking about Game of Thrones. Let people enjoy their TV shows.
Game of Thrones is awesome right now, man.
Let people have their time.
I could let loose some spoilers right now if you haven't seen the last episode. Oh man.
Yeah, don't say it. I don't like that shit.
I don't want to get no hate
I don't
mail.
care for
we
it.
get enough hate mail as it is.
Yeah.
We're fucking idiots.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that show. I don't really like it. But
I don't want to talk to you anymore. We're just. I don't feel like I know you anymore.
Why?
You don't like Game of Thrones?
Yeah. Whatever. So
You to bump that.
We got. I tell you what.
Turn, dog.
Real quick. I know we just got done saying what a big joke and a show it is, but I got to bring it up. I'm sorry, Bernie winning. Anything?
I'm glad he did.
I am too.
Whatever.
Not that it matters, but I am
Whatever. You
Isn't
guys
it
are
crazy?
so silly tonight. What is there, like radon gas in here or something?
I don't
you
even-
guys are like,
But
y'all are high.
Isn't it crazy that we thought this was it looks like the Republican convention is no longer going to be contested. And
No, it's done. It's a done
that's
deal.
a wrapped up.
But look what convention is going to look like.
Yeah.
It's seemingly going to be contested. It's going to be the Democrat convention.
Yeah, come on, Bernie.
Whatever.
Give us a
Come
show.
on, come win. I hope he does actually win.
Give us a show, Bernie. I would
Y'all are
love for him
high
to win.
tonight, man. Y'all are so high.
Incorrect.
Oh my god.
Incorrect. But
Y'all need to stay off that stuff.
you got James Sanders, Bernie's wife, coming out talking about the FBI and needs to go ahead and move this along.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we're not going to politicize these emails, but once you do your job.
Whatevs.
So speed it up, people. See, there's all that there, and I think that's going to fall. That could fall down.
Bunch of puppets with flapping felt mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Well,
It really doesn't. And it's time for the other 2/3 of voting American people that didn't go to the polls last time, or I don't know, for whatever reason, probably not going to return to the polls this year either. And it's time for us to start coming together. Well, we've got to come up with something way different than what we have now. Now, as to what that is, there's a lot of different people with a lot of different ideas about it. I'm not the person get on a soapbox about that sort of thing, because I haven't quite made my mind up yet. But I know what we have right now is broken. It's broken, and there is no fixing it without completely dismantling it. And, I don't know where we go from here. That's what and everybody kind of stops there because, there's a vague fantasy or an idea or this, that, and the other. But, we are the majority. The people that have these ideas and this mentality about where our government has led us and what our government has become. It's some big, giant, huge, autonomous, cancer, man. It robs you of your money. It robs you of your freedom. You don't even own the air anymore. The air you breathe is owned by the United States government. The water you drink is owned by the United States government. The food that you eat is controlled by the United States government.
Well, that's all true.
Yeah.
You better believe every bit of that's true. And that's the thing. What's going to change? How's it going to change?
Well, certainly by not doing this anymore. Voting is. I'm sorry, and I know we're all divided on that, but voting has gotten us where we're at now. I'm opting
Hey,
out.
fair enough, but I'm asking you, what's the solution here?
I don't know. Maybe it's time for the other 2/3 of people that are not voting, the majority, for us to get together and let's talk about it and find out.
Well, one caveat, and it'll be something maybe to get into later, but I have decided, let me actually state, you made the comment that this has happened because of voters. I think we're going to see the state grow, and we're going to see it grow, not necessarily in spite of voters, but it's going to grow regardless of whether or not people are voting or not. The state's going to vote. You're never going to.
You mean like it is already? Yeah, you're absolutely right.
No, it is going to continue to grow. It is. But if tomorrow, if 50% of the population decides not to vote, guess what's going to happen? The government's still going to be there, except now they're going to pass some more, even harder bullshit. And the next election, when people are pissed off so much about it, they're going to be like, and they decide, hey, we're not going to go. And we're down to now 10%. Can you imagine what 10% are going to go in there and what that 10% is going to vote for? Mm-hmm. The state is always going to grow. It's only going to be educating the community, the population. Before anything happens, the population, the general population, has to be taught, has to be educated. But it doesn't have to be. Even when the American Revolution happened, it was only a third of the people actually were willing to go to war and actually fight for this stuff. But even a smaller, it was a very small amount of people who were really on board and were game for this. But the revolution started in the hearts and minds of men 20 years before shots were ever fired. But it doesn't take a majority, but it takes a minority that is serious about seeing some actual change. But the state's going to grow. It's going to continue to grow. So I understand that the push for the no voting and don't vote. But when you guys stay home from the voting polls, the next socialist, next commie gets up there and decides, hey, we're going to go for it, because no matter how much you decide we're not going to vote, Bernie Sanders is still going to tell his guys to vote.
Okay. That I think that is a well-made argument. But I want to ask you, okay, well, it's a good argument.
I could love to expand on it, but not here and now. That's the gist of it.
I'm just trying to think of the best way to say it, but basically it comes down to, we live in the state of Alabama. Guess what? I'm voting for Donald Trump, whether I like it or not, because that's the way the Electoral College is set up. I can go down there and I can vote for you. I can vote for me. I can vote for Tupac, whose mother passed away, by the way. Afeni Shakur.
God rest her soul.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, Afeni Shakur passed away. It doesn't matter who I vote for, because my vote is going to go towards Donald Trump. And the reason it's going to go towards Donald Trump is because that's who the state is going to vote for. And
all lives matter.
That's it. So tell me again, why does my vote, explain it? Why does the vote matter if all automatically, I've already voted.
Well, I can only tell you, and I hate to be, I'll tell you this much: voting for a third party will get two of the parties closer to being on. I think, obviously, even if you don't vote, I think most people would agree that there ought to be at least that there are other opinions out there about the subject matter besides just Republicans and Democrats. So who would at least frown upon the Green Party or the Libertarian Party having at least a say in the debates? If that's something worthwhile and you agree with that, well, then in that case, do go out and vote because
but the only thing that's going to happen then is Donald Trump's going to pick up on it and say, "Well, yeah, we've heard about that and this, that, and the other." But let me tell you about me.
Well,
for a minute.
no, I think
conversation's going to get quiet.
Sure, but I think that's a fair enough point. I do understand.
I personally would love to see that.
I do understand the principle.
Well, Donald Trump won't always be in office either.
Right?
So.
Exactly.
And a lot of these third parties have been making this way for a long time. At least, for instance, the Libertarian Party. If they get 5% in this next election, 5%, they actually will get matching federal funds for campaign funds. Which, believe it or not, when you get to on that kind of playing field, that's a big time deal because right now it doesn't matter what group it is. You're only going to have two parties in the debates. You're not going to have, if you want to have a Green Party or if you want to have a Socialist Party, even if you want to have a Constitution Party, there are no other parties that are even going to be that are even allowed to be in the debates at this point. But you've got the Green Party and the Libertarian Party coming together and actually suing to be able to do just that. So unless you're tired, that's my argument for it.
Well, I don't think the Libertarian Party did themselves any favors by putting on some of those kind of rickety debates this year.
Here's the thing.
They've gotten better.
The Libertarian Party actually didn't do that. Here's the issue with that is that the Libertarian Party, that is a state, each state, by the bylaws, the state that they're holding it in is responsible for setting up the equipment. So that wasn't a national party thing, but it did look pretty poorly on the party itself. So.
Just you find out which party Ric Flair is registered to.
The Woo-Hoo Party.
That's
the Woo Party.
The Woo Party.
Woo,
that's it.
Woo.
That's who I'm voting for.
I like the Woo Party, man. I can get behind that.
That's where I'm going.
Or Andrew WK's Party.
Does he have a party really?
Shut. Don't make that face. I love Andrew WK. He's awesome. I didn't say he was Mozart or anything, but,
it's fun.
He's a cool dude.
I've never met him, so how am I supposed to know he's a cool guy?
Well, you just made that face.
I didn't degrade the man.
But you made a frowny face when I said party. And I'm sorry, I just like saying it.
You looked down your nose at him, obviously.
He really did.
It did.
What's new with that,
you're
though?
Such a freaking
you could have
hipster,
said anything, and I would
You're a
have down
hipster.
on
That's
you.
what it is. You're a hipster.
No, I'm not.
You need to
Don't say stuff like that.
You need to put yourself in check, hipster.
Don't ever
You're just
say
saying
stuff
that because you don't
that.
like him.
You have grown. Your beard has grown pretty long lately.
It has. It's okay. I got nothing wrong.
Busted.
I'm not against hipsters. I'm not for or against anyone.
I love hipsters. Hipsters are cool.
No, just be the hipsters there.
Be the change you want to see, though.
Everybody's always said that.
You're one of
about
those
me.
shitty hipsters that everybody bitches about.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
You're that guy. You're so that guy.
I don't even know what that means, but
I don't
anyway.
either. It sounded great in my head, though.
So, it looks like we're getting ready for the beginning of the end here. The end. With Big Daddy going to be president. Next hour, I promise we're going to talk about much more, I guess you can call it substantive stuff. I want to talk about the Middle East and what's going on over there right now. I think I just, despite the whole, what you said about Richard Haas earlier, I think that is ramping up. That is about to kick off.
Absolutely.
You heard the U.S. soldier got killed by enemy fire in Iraq. Yeah, first time, and I don't know what I read, but yeah.
Well, if we just pull out of Iraq, then
oh no, that's ramping up, man. It's getting. I'm telling you, keep your eye on it. I keep saying that and saying that and saying that. It will happen. I think it will more than likely. Barack Obama will get 1 foot out the door, and the soldiers will get 1 foot in Iraq. That's what I think. So, and I don't know. Maybe Obama has had influence on keeping this in check. But they're ramping up right now. It is ramping up. And when he gets out, it's going to be a coincidence that it's going to go full scale again. That's my personal belief. I think it's going to kick off.
Well, I mean, that's only fair because, when he first, got into the president of the United States, he got to sit in
he
the
has
chair.
bombed 8 countries.
He had
so he's on a saint.
The George Bush bailout, who that started when George had one foot out the door. So I think it's, karma, whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, that's on the agenda of what's supposed to happen.
Trump's come out and spoke openly several times about what's going on in Syria, and he realizes that there's not a lot of American influence as far as we're concerned.
And this is why I think Trump is an important issue, because especially what he's saying about that kind of stuff. What would he, because he has been the one that has said, why aren't we over there? Why aren't we over there? One person that kind of makes sense.
We have not been able to go 10 minutes on this show.
Well, that's
today
fine, but
without bringing that man's
I don't
name
care
up.
because we're talking
You're
about
a crazy
what's
person.
going to happen.
You have lost your mind. It's infected you. It's infected all the people around me. Now it's infected you too.
That is not.
Damn it.
He's sick. He's sick, dog.
Okay, I'll vote for Austin Peterson. Why not? Where's the ballot at?
What? What's happening?
I'm voting for Austin Peterson now. If you're going to vote for Trump, then
I'm not voting for Trump.
I'm fine.
Oh my gosh!
Don't you
Did
love
you
the
just
jump?
say that?
Yes,
Love
I
the
did.
jump.
Yes, I said it on
jump.
air. I
Oh,
called you out on air.
Call me out.
Got him.
Call me out. What does that even mean?
You're voting. I know you're voting for Trump. I see it in your
You
eyes.
really believe
Where's your
that?
pen at?
That's what Bernie.
Where's
that's
your
what Bernie, that's the
Where's
guy-
your Trump pen at?
That's what
I want
Bernie
to see
fans
it.
like that say.
What a
Man,
thing to say.
And the funny thing is that
get on me now, right?
anytime that you have anything dissenting against, on the internet to say about Trump, then that's automatically what they say. Oh, well, there's a Bernie supporter right here. Well, I don't support Bernie. Oh man, you support Hillary. And it's like, I don't support any of them.
Right.
You
but
know,
people don't
and then
understand.
then you have to post a bunch of news stories to show that no, I equally hate all of these.
And you can
people.
see
Here-
the gears
here
in
are
their
clear
minds.
Examples why.
Well, here's
Just
the
screw
thing.
up.
When I gloriously got booted out of the Bernie situation.
Felt the burn there, didn't you?
for your
boss?
dank memes.
Yeah. They
Dankity-dank.
they were like, well, at least you're consistent. You literally have one about every candidate.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
Yeah. it's
Your
like-
your memes are
Because at
pretty
first,
dank.
because how it was, if somebody said, "Oh, you're a Hillary supporter," and I was like, "Am I?" And I went,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
Check this out.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah." So,
Your memes are pretty dank.
Oh, they are. Dude.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Saw the Zero Hedge article.
Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah. That
Right.
was about the Trump story
About
again.
the Trump
Yeah, I'm
story,
such a Trump fan that I'm writing.
You're voting for that dude.
I wrote a story about how there's a lawsuit
that's just a cover. That's
There's
just a
a
cover.
lawsuit about him raping a 13-year-old child in 1994.
Man. Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
You didn't know that?
I didn't
Not a
read
lot
the
of folks
article.
do. Yeah, it's actually that story has. I guess we're waiting to see now that Ted Cruz is finally out of the limelight.
I guess we're going to have to talk about that. Listen, Shane, hold on with that. We're going to talk about that in the second hour of the show. You are listening to Anti-Media Radio. For Shane and Kevin, I am SM Gibson. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Run in the morning, everybody's laughing, having fun. Wanna run in the sunshine, everybody's dancing, getting along. Daylight keeps me on
children. Everybody thinks those days are gone. Daylight keeps me on my knees. You run quickly as I leave. Keeps me on my knees. You run quickly as I
We are back for hour 2 of Anti-Media Radio. I am S.M. Gibson. That song was by a artist named Ducat Johnson. He is from Birmingham, Alabama. The name of the song is Dancing Song. Shannon, what's the name of the album, that song?
Rabbit Runs a Destiny. God, it's a beautiful album. I absolutely love it. I really
Rabbit
do.
Runs a Destiny. So, yeah, be sure to check out Ducat Johnson. You can find him on Bandcamp and a few other things online. So Kevin was just telling me a great story outside about this gentleman cutting. Go ahead for it, Kevin. I want you to explain the story. You did such a lovely, eloquent job earlier.
So we got this guy named Stephen Ruth. He's a New York guy, right? He's been arrested multiple times for cutting wires to red light cameras and exposing government revenue generating scheme is basically what this is. So he's now facing 22 years in prison for doing so. He's cut numerous lights and numerous intersections. He's not tried to hide from it. In fact, on several occasions when he's cut these, he's actually called the media and reported it himself, getting attention. He's made several. He's got several videos online. He's got a great Facebook page where he keeps it updated, and he's explaining his case as to why he took it upon himself to do this, which I think has been a great reason, a noble reason. Not only is it a financial scam, but it turns out that more people are actually getting hurt by this. In fact, the city of New York and the city of Suffolk County, I believe it is. I've checked the pronunciation because I probably just butchered it. But their own reports show that people are actually getting hurt, and the reason being that the yellow lights are actually being sped up. And so it's causing drivers, with much shorter time to make a decision. So they're either speeding up or slowing down and causing numerous more car accidents, which, of course, result in not only death and people getting injured, but tons of money in repairs to insurance hikes and all kind of sorts of stuff. And it's a revenue scam. $32 million last year is what the state brought in. That county brought in from the tax dollars from that. So that's what we're looking at. We're facing, and he's not backing down. He's telling everybody, hey, yeah, look, I did this, and here's the reason. So if you're on Facebook, I would really suggest go out, find this guy's page. His name is Stephen Ruth. He's a man of God. He's a Christian guy, a patriotic-minded guy, and really a principled guy.
See, that's where I don't like that word.
I know I was skeptical about using it, but
I don't like that word.
Keep in mind in the context that I'm using it as, he's literally doing it not in the statist way. I hate to use that
It's not
word.
even that. It's just I don't know why. It just feels like it's idolatry. Boom. That's it.
When I say patriot, I'm not talking about maybe
Don't
not
worship
traditional sin.
flags.
No, and not that I mean at all.
There
I
will be
think,
no flaggatry on the
None.
flag it.
No, I think he's pushing back against the state, and he's suggesting everybody else do as well. And it's a massive act of civil disobedience.
And that's what I was talking about a little while ago in the first hour.
And that's how I define patriotic in this sense.
Right. It is a fantastic thing what he's doing.
It really is. And again, he is, there have been studies conducted by that municipality. Studies that have, their own studies
Right.
have proven that these red light cameras with these shortened yellow lights are causing more accidents. And they have turned a blind eye because they're making money hand over fist.
Right.
Millions upon millions of dollars have been raked in from traffic fines from these cameras.
Right, and this is not the only case that we've seen this going on. And now they've actually installed a camera outside of his home on a pole across the street, similar to the one they did at Lavoy Finnecum's after his death that they had outside posted outside the residence. But they've now got one outside of his home, and he's getting a little bit worried about it. It was only a few months ago that. Another gentleman who was a red light whistleblower came forth. He made a video in which he explained he thought the government was out to kill him. And actually, he was found dead like 2 weeks later.
Stabbed to death in his house, caught on fire.
Well,
Wow.
this
Yeah.
one was
Ruled a suicide
Suicide, yeah.
by police.
So don't you hit rewind on this story. So what happened here? With the guy that was found dead?
Oh man!
Oh, I'll be honest with you. I don't remember much, many of the details about the
business
situation.
as usual.
But yeah, this is his name was John Lang. He was a traffic light scam whistleblower in Fresno, California. Yeah, and you're right, Shannon. He was his house was torched. He was found stabbed.
And he said the government was trying to kill him like 2 weeks before?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's coincidence.
yeah.
Interesting. Huh?
Traffic light whistleblower. Is that
Traffic
correct?
light scam.
Traffic light scam whistleblower, like that low of a whistleblower.
Yeah.
Found dead.
Yeah.
Well, and we say that
Ugh.
that low, but we potentially, they don't want this getting out. A lot of these companies, this technology has been used
Xerox
across
is actually
the country.
behind the cameras in question in that one in New York, where the fellow's currently facing 22 years. Those are actually owned by Xerox, the Xerox Corporation.
Imagine that.
Big money, big money.
Definitely big money. And they probably are who owns a lot of these other ones. One of the issues that he's bringing up also.
So wait, they have a private device on public
Yes.
property.
Yes, that's what.
And he's
this
destroying
is-
the private device, which is on public property.
Yes.
The same thing goes on all around the country.
Oh, of course.
And at first, he started off at first not destroying them. All he would do is that they were mounted on a swivel mount, and he would just simply take a stick and just point it up toward the sky. So all they were doing is snapping pictures at what's going on up in the sky and not people's license plates so they could be writing these crap bullshit tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked, it's supposed to be a cop there to issue the ticket, and then you go to court and so on and so forth.
That happens all the
We
time
actually
here.
had a municipality here
Yeah, I know.
in the area. Remember Center Point?
Still there.
Yeah.
That thing's still there.
But it's not in use right now because there was a big lawsuit about it.
I knew that. I didn't
they
know
never-
it was out of use now.
Oh yeah, it's been out of use for a while because they have no court to enforce it.
Those tickets were coming from like Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the mail. Yeah, from Ohio.
In the mail, and so somebody actually went to court to challenge it, and they had no court. so they had to throw it out.
What a
But
joke.
you know, the
What a
people,
joke.
yeah, I mean, but
Yeah. You know, but that's the government as usual.
and it's not just the fact that it's catching people that are, you know, running through the red light or this, that, and the other. It's also they have shortened the amount of time that the yellow light changes by 3 seconds. I mean, that's virtually no time to react whatsoever when you're driving and paying attention to other drivers on the road.
Yeah,
and so on and so
it
forth.
is what it is.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I want to go ahead and bring on our wonderful, fantastic, beautiful, amazing journalist, Miss Claire Burnish.
That was strange. Thank you, and hello.
Hey, Miss Claire, how you doing tonight?
I'm having a day.
You and me both. I got to sit up here with these asses at the end of it.
So,
It'll all be okay, but
Yeah,
it's
it'll all-
good this day is over.
This too shall pass.
yeah, that's what they say. So, how are things in your world? What's your brief take on what we saw with Ted Cruz dropping out? And more importantly, the reason I want to ask you this is because our caller we had earlier in the first hour of the show made a great point that as soon as the Oswald thing was brought up, it was, 7 hours later, the guy that was supposedly going to be there to this convention and there were going to be riots and all this stuff, within 7 hours, that guy's out of the race.
Oh.
Is that...
Yeah, I didn't think about the convention and like how that was. Yeah, that really.
Like a lot has just changed. Like everything has just changed.
Yeah. I really, I've been so busy I didn't even actually stop to really consider the implications of Cruz dropping out.
It's pretty
I mean,
different now. Yeah. This is like the first event I think we've had for a minute here in the election that's actual legit news. Like this has really changed the landscape of what that's been put in front of us.
yeah, it really does. And although this makes me wonder what will happen after the general election, if we go the course of what it certainly looks like at this point, which in my opinion would be Hillary versus Trump.
Well,
And you know how badly they don't want Trump in office and how badly the people who do like Trump want Trump in office. So
yeah, I mean, it could still, we could still see something, but I think Cleveland just got a lot tamer. And it could I just don't see it now. I don't see it getting crazy now. Not really.
Yeah,
crazy.
not really. Not like it would have been.
Now, there will be protesters outside for sure. Like, that'll probably get pretty loud. And they could get just as loud as we were anticipating, or, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope there's just none of that. I'm fine with the protesters, but I don't want to see violence over any of this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and I wonder though, on the flip side, if maybe I wonder if maybe it would be just as bad because it seems almost like certain that he would be the nominee at this point. So people kind of go in knowing that instead of knowing something crazy might happen. So maybe the anti-Trump protesters would be even, I don't know.
I actually had on CNN, believe it or not, earlier just because I was waiting to listen to his speech. I wanted to see how he approached after Cruz dropped out.
Before you decided to go ahead and say, yes, I officially am a Trump supporter?
Oh, my gosh. Say it one more time.
Shannon.
Both. I want you both right now to say and denounce and say that I'm not a Trump supporter right now, both of you.
I'm sorry. What did you say? I was ignoring you. What?
Well, you're fine.
Got to do this together,
Both of
right?
you.
I'm just going to sit over
Yeah,
here
I
and
agree.
drink
I'm
my coffee.
kidding. You're not a Trump supporter. I know. I'm just
I don't know
kidding.
why you're not wearing your...
Kevin's back on the show.
I don't
You're
know
fine.
why you're not wearing Make America Great Again hat right now. Yeah, it's in the closet in there. I'm going to go dig it out here in a second.
Anyways. So, yeah. Anyways, back to what we're talking about. Yeah, so, I think we're going to see protesters for sure. But the media tonight, when I was watching CNN, like, waiting on that, they were just kind of in shock. Like, this has just happened. Like, their usual scripted kind of response to stuff was very like, we didn't expect this. This came out of the left field, and now just, well, he's the nominee. Like, this was unexpected.
Well, yeah. This really is quite a shocker, and it's definitely a game changer.
It is. I mean, I and coincidence, timing, I don't know. That is an odd thing. Him dropping out. He was clearly dropping out this morning, though, Cruz was, when he went on his tirade.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And for anybody that hasn't seen it, it's on the front page of the antimedia.org right now.
Hit it up.
Yeah, to check out Ted Cruz absolutely losing it.
Actually, I'm going to have to go look at it because I've only heard about it.
Oh, you hadn't seen it?
I have not. I've
yeah,
been at work
it's
all
great.
day.
It probably won't have the impact it did, but
Well, because we've already discussed.
we know
it,
he's out. We know
okay.
he's gone.
I'm sure. Well, I'm glad. But you say it's on the antimedia.org.
It is.
Correct? Sweet.
So, yeah. Anyway, I want to get into another story we've actually got on the front page right now. It is about that just during the month of April, there were 4,609 people at least killed in Iraq.
When you say people, we're talking about men, women, military,
That's,
both sides.
United Nations issued its casualty report. The organization found that 741 Iraqis were killed and 1,374 were wounded. Of those fatalities, 410 belonged to civilians, while 331 of the dead were security personnel. Another 973 civilians.
And we know that number's probably way below.
Yeah. That's it. And that's, of course, that's insane. And then we had a soldier get killed today. This is like the first one they've admitted in a while. Or they came out and said happened. So I'm telling you, it's been just building slowly. And, for the activists out there that don't want to see our country drawn into another war, now's the time to go ahead and get the markers and the signs out. Because I think we're going into Iraq.
Well, not only Iraq, but Iraq and Syria, and we're still kind of beating up troops in Afghanistan too. I mean, it's looking like more and more like a full-scale, I don't know, war or onslaught or something.
It's the war we knew was coming. This has been
right.
We've been expecting this any moment now for how long now? It just seems like yesterday when actually the people came out, and I'll say the people, there was really a pushback from the American people that really did not want to go to war in Syria. And, I think it was shortly thereafter is when the first so-called gas attack from what was claimed to be the Assad regime, but I think what we all know was from the other side. Right there after that, and continued the push for war. It's amazing that we've so far not gotten involved with it yet. Let me explain to you
the difference, though, I think, and I don't think this is by accident. The last time when they were trying to really heavily drag us into war with Syria, that was on the news. They were talking about it. They had Assad. They were putting his face on TV saying, look at all these bombs. Look at what all these horrible things they're doing. And people are like, we're not buying this anymore. And people rose, called, threw a fit over it, and we didn't go to war.
Nope.
Right now, we have a complete different situation because we have Donald Trump in the election on 24 hours a day, and I think that's important. That's fine, whatever. It is what it is. I know. It catches me when I say it.
Because you're voting for him. That's why.
Shut your mouth.
You're so voting. You big old Trump.
But you're totally right, though. Right now, if there was a pushback, if there was more attention paid to what's going on, or if people could really start to get the word out in other channels besides obviously mainstream media, this right now is the time to do the same thing. We need the same effort, at least if not more.
I completely, and you know what? I need to get with Nick and some other people. Maybe we need to plan some sort of online. I think we could get people behind that.
Definitely. Definitely pay attention to it. Remind people this is still going on. It's not ending, and it hasn't ended.
Oh, no, it has not ended whatsoever. They're stubborn. I mean,
we've only just begun.
But it's only going to escalate, too, from here. I mean, obviously, every time the people kind of put their foot down, they come up with some sort of excuse. Whether it's an attack or some reason, they'll come up with some reason that we have to go ahead with war, and we just have to be prepared to counter whatever narrative they come up with.
Oh, yeah, that's it. I'm just worried because of the election, man. It's just everybody's just going to be completely distracted.
Like you, big Trump supporter.
Yeah, whatever.
You are,
Fine.
man. Where's your pen at? Where's your hat?
Well,
it was funny at first. Now it's just old.
No,
what do you think
it's
we're going to see? What do you think the reaction from Russia is going to be? Russia pulled their troop or the brunt.
They don't mess
That's
with
too
Iraq.
far.
Really.
Yeah, that's too far away from.
Yeah, but think about what's going on with Russia, too, with the U.S. I mean, we've kind of beefed up all sorts of bases and everything else all around, like, skirting Russia, too. I mean, what exactly are we planning here?
Oh, well, that's the question. What are we planning? And you get different reports, of course, because, you get the report, we're going to start focusing on just, the East, as opposed to the Middle East. And we're going to get out of the Middle East. And, we're going to pull, Trump's going to get us out of Iraq or Syria, whatever it is. And that's the plan according, to all these
That's what
other
you
people.
tell us.
But our number one export right now is war. So I mean, we're
of
gonna,
course.
yeah,
And I don't see that changing. I don't care.
We'll pull out of the Middle East, but where are we headed
That's
to?
it.
next?
I don't see Donald Trump being in office changing that. I don't think he's pulling us out of anything or anywhere. And I think, this is ramping up towards that. He just may approach it differently. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he will do it, but we'll see.
I think that if there was something he could prevent from happening in terms of war, he might do it. But if it's already taking place, if there's already something underway, I don't think he would hesitate at all to just fully support it.
Maybe, but
Yeah, that seems strange, but I mean, that's just kind of, that
I
just
could
seems
also
like
see
something.
just going in there and being like, screw it. Let's just, if you're going to do it, do it. And be like real, like a
Real Don.
Vietnam kind of situation.
But, I think, to be honest, it seems fairly obvious that Hillary will probably win the election, at least that's kind of the conclusion I've come to. And if she does, we all know how much she loves war, and there are so many fronts already taking place. I think that she might actually be really dangerous.
She won't change a damn
That's not
thing.
even. There's no even point to have that conversation.
She won't
we know
change
what
a
she's
damn
gonna do.
thing.
I just think she'll make it worse. Like, I think that it's already bad enough if we go into some sort of major war or major battle, but I think that she might be so aggressive that she could actually worsen the situation
And I
considerably.
completely disagree with you. I think a lot would change. I really think she'll ramp stuff up.
For the worst, you're right.
Yeah, you're
That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, there could be no positive.
Not just more of the same, but much more of the same.
Right.
That's,
Well, this is gloomy.
yeah, I mean, really, can we talk about some kitten videos or something?
No.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Debbie Downerville here, man.
So what? Deal with it. Deal with it.
We have no choice. We have no choice, and that's the sad thing about it. Used to, we could run down to the polls and we could, make some change at the polls. Now there is no change there. All you're doing is changing from one master to the other, and it's all the same game plan still applies. Variables may change a little bit, but ultimately the same outcome.
Yeah.
It's making a bunch of rich people even more money and oppressing anybody else who's not rich.
Well, I think there's still getting close. I mean, it's closing off every
You're
day.
wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I want to try to say there's still opportunity, but it feels like that window is closing.
Yeah, I can make like a bed intruder video and get like 150 million views on YouTube. Yeah, I guess I could make a few bucks that way.
A bad intruder video.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, Antoine Dodson, man.
Oh yeah. Whatever.
You need to go cut some lines on some red light cameras, though.
No, then you get 22 years.
Yeah.
No. Only because he's done it so many times. They really stack the charges up on him now.
So he should have learned his lesson the first time.
Oh, he's like, man,
That he was helping people not wreck their cars because of something the government did to make some more money.
keep their cheese too, man.
Yeah.
He's a man. I'm telling you, we've got to get this guy on for an interview. Even some of his videos, he's speaking out about other towns in which they're thinking about implementing these same type of systems, and he's really trying to put pressure on their city governments that are pushing this stuff from his hometown, and of course rallying the people to join him. He had the media. He had called the media and had them on when he did this once before, but.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take another caller now. Area code 773. Thank you for calling Anti Media Radio. This is your host, S.M. Gibson. Tell us your name and where you're calling from tonight.
I'm from Detroit.
Say it one more time.
I said Detroit.
Yeah, okay. Detroit.
Sorry, phone kind of broke up there a little bit. How you doing tonight?
Good. What I was listening to you guys, and what I want to say is, basically what we need to do is stand up to our government. The government should fear us, not we should not fear the government. We need to stay undivided and united as one.
That's right. Having a little bit of difficulty hearing you, breaking up just a little bit. I heard united and divided as one or something like that.
Yeah, we need to stand undivided and united as one and stand up towards the government.
Definitely.
We don't need to fear the government. The government needs to fear us.
Definitely.
You nailed it. It's the people that, we're the ones that are supposed to be the bosses.
Well, it doesn't need to be
here.
about fear at all. That's the problem is that
basically we need our voices to be heard, and our voices won't be heard unless we take action, appropriate, responsible action.
They will be held accountable for if they do something they ought not be doing.
Because our numbers are greater.
There's only 70 million in the 1%. There's over 700 million people in the majority.
Isn't that sad, man? But it goes to show you, really, though, that it does not take a whole nation of people to make change in this country. It takes a small but consistent, fired up minority to really do it.
Exactly.
But at the same time, we're not the minority. That's the crazy part about this.
No, we're really
Our
not.
numbers are greater. We are not the minority, and here we are kind of sitting around, in closed groups with the doors and
because
windows
there's so
closed,
many that are apathetic.
discussing these things because we're afraid of what so-and-so at the job site may say or the dirty look so-and-so may say. But then quietly and privately, we're sharing a lot of the same ideas with other people, and sometimes even ideas that we heard or some people have heard from somebody else and made a little frowny face about, I can't believe he's talking about that here. And they go home, it's like, oh, man, can you believe I just heard blah, blah, this and this, that, and the other. The information is being spread widely. And why we haven't banded together and tried to come up with a feasible solution to the problem that we have with the United States government as it stands. It is broken. I can't say that enough. It is broken beyond.
We don't have to vote for any of the candidates on the poll. We can vote anonymous and write anonymous.
Yeah, and again, but because anonymous is just about the only viable choice that I have right now. Any vote that I can seriously see myself making at the polls, and I may do it just to shut some of the haters up. Well, you don't vote, so you don't have a voice. Okay, I voted. I went ahead and threw my vote away for a protest vote. Because pretty much anything.
In all reality, if we vote anonymous, the humanity party will start.
Well, and that it's the revolution is not going to take place at the polls, I'm afraid. And that's
I know.
And I think that's what we need to try to start spreading that message.
Well, it's not going to start at the polls, but we got to remember that this is a war being waged. We've been at war now for a while. The federal government has been at war with the American people and the rights of the American people and of all peoples for some time now. And fighting a war back and beating back the state is a multi-front event. So this is the political stage, the political front. This is only one front, one front of a large pushback. So it's this is one piece of the pie there. But you're right. We've definitely got to stand united. Like the caller was saying, and realize these guys need to be scared of the people, not the people scared of the government, obviously. Couldn't have said it better, man. That's a great call. Thank you, buddy. Call back again, man. Definitely. And
yeah, great caller. I just read something pretty funny here. Carly Fiorina was Ted Cruz's running mate. And since Ted Cruz dropped out, does that make Carly Fiorina the first female candidate to lose twice in the same primary?
Ooh.
Congratulations.
Burned.
On making.
That's awesome.
Wow. Harley. Do you see the little gif with their handshake, the little hand?
What was that about?
Man,
that was some alien business.
Kevin,
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Kevin, you're a resident Freemason. You know something about the handshakes. Was that?
Yeah, tell us, conspiracy
that was
guy.
nothing masonry related at all. I assure you.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was something they were working on backstage to kind of help, win back some of the
Did
minority.
they turn into like the lizard people?
Well, that's what I was going to say. You know,
like
all
Hillary's-
those lizard video people that claiming that
Yeah.
Ted Cruz and
I think they just gave him a softball.
they did.
Yeah,
that was a weird.
Well, and not only that, but remember when Cruz, after he got done with his little concession speech,
The hug tonight,
the
that was
weird
awkward.
Hug, non-hug, everybody in here, no, everybody away from me.
Yeah, that was awkward.
How do I work
That guy's
this?
weird.
Yeah.
It's
It's like he's never hugged anybody before.
Look.
You remember the video with him and his
That guy's
daughter on the
weird.
road?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that video
Oh,
where he went
yeah.
to try to hug his daughter? I mean, he's not a good hugger.
Yeah, that was strange too. Like that was so unnatural; it was almost frightening.
How can you, as a human being, not know how to hug somebody properly?
Right.
Obviously, area code 484. Thank you for calling Inside Media Radio. This is your host, SM Gibson. Tell us your name and where you're calling from tonight.
My name's Devin. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Devin from Pennsylvania. What's on your mind?
I don't know. You guys talking about the election, right?
Yeah, we've covered a little bit of everything tonight.
Whether I want to or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like a little excited, man. I'm actually one of the type of people that actually are rooting for Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. You know what I mean? Just because they're
Did you say you
they're sparking it.
Did you say you voted for Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders?
No, I kind of support both of them for what they're doing. You know, not so much the policies, but just getting people out there to vote. Like they're sick of what's going on in both parties.
It's funny because the host, the guy you're speaking to, Gibson, mentioned just a few minutes ago. He's off camera said that he thinks it's probably that Donald and Bernie probably have more similarities or more in common to a certain degree than a lot of the other candidates.
I think so too, you know, and then like I'll put something like that on Facebook. You know, a lot of people just are one-sided, like they don't see. I don't know, you know. I could see good in both, and I could see not so good in both, you know. And I just I'm excited, you know, because I don't like Hillary Clinton, you know what I mean, and it's just I feel like any change is better than what's going on, you know. So,
what is it primarily that you don't like about Hillary Clinton? What's the thing that really turns you off about her?
I believe that she does not tell the truth. I think that she's just somebody that is a face of the establishment. You know, what's behind the scenes. You know, like she knows more than the public knows, and she does what she does. You know, there's a lot of interest involved, and I think that we the people don't really count in her book. You know, she'll say things to get people on board, but I don't know. You know, things like Benghazi, things. You know, the emails or whatever. I'm talking about people's lives. You know, I don't know if she sees people as just numbers or you know collateral damage. I think Donald Trump doesn't. I think he really means it when he wants to fight for people. Like, you know, I heard him say something on the news once about he doesn't want anybody on the street, homeless people, anybody, you know, and they were really digging at him. And he's like, no, I don't want to see anybody hurting out there.
Now,
you know,
a sincere question. What makes you in your gut believe Donald Trump?
Whatever.
Because what differentiates him from the others? Why do you believe him?
Because I see him, like, you know, a lot of people say, oh, he's friends with Clinton, all this stuff. And you know what? I voted for Barack Obama. You know what I mean? Like, he's like me, you know, like he's somebody that, like, he's not being politically correct. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he supported these people, but he's older now. He's changing his mind. He goes on the Alex Jones show. You know, his mind is more open. You know, and like I think he sees the world as it is. Like he's going to call you out. He's going to call George Bush out. You know, about like, no, you went into Iraq. You 9/11 happened with you. And you know what I mean? Like, he'll call people out that's not doing the right thing. You know, and he doesn't care,
He
you know?
does do that. And, you know, we don't have any policy that we can look back on with him, because everything so far has just been words, and very nondescriptive words, really. And, you know, you don't know. I mean, he could get in there and be the worst president we've ever had. He could be the greatest president we've ever had.
Right.
But at the same time, he has said everything you can possibly say about every single position you can possibly have. And we're talking about not 10 years ago. We're talking about he's on the debate stage and gets asked a question and goes, I literally just this second changed my mind.
Yeah, and these philosophical changes that one makes, that a lot of people make in their lifetime, that we all can probably relate to, these generally happen at a much younger age. They don't generally happen to a man when he's 50 years old, 60 years old. You don't normally go through these philosophical changes overnight, which apparently really seems like what Donald Trump has done. So I'm not in favor of his. I personally am not, but I can see why people are, for sure.
Yeah, thanks so much for the caller as well.
Definitely good call, man.
Yeah, so
Had a lot of good calls tonight.
We have.
Well, two actually.
Well, we've had more. We've had a few that haven't been able to get in. So who's counting?
I tell you what, real quick, before I forget, I want to remind everybody that you can listen to us every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. You can go to www.ucy.tv/TAMR, or you can go to theantimedia.org/radio to listen to us every Tuesday and Thursday. You can listen also to Nick Burnaby's program as well on Monday and Wednesday at UCY, and you can catch all the replays on YouTube.
And if you want to interact with us, if you happen to be listening, maybe possibly on a broadcast from our YouTube channel, you can always call in Tuesday, Thursday nights. The number is 1718-717-8296. Call in and be a part of the show.
Yeah, 718-717-8296. Call into the program whenever. We've had some great callers tonight. You're still number one, player.
Oh, okay.
Still the one.
So, what stories? Because I know you typically stay pretty distant of the elections. What stories have been grabbing your attention as of late?
Yeah, let's talk about something important for a while.
I'm kind of set up with the election tonight. Kind of threw me for a curveball. I guess my biggest concern with going forward, since I am an avid non-voter, it doesn't really matter who wins. I think it's up to us now to prevent the fallout from happening, such as the apparently multi-fronted war that seems almost inevitable now. It just seems to me, it feels, generally speaking, like there's so much going on right now, both abroad and at home. I almost feel scattered-brained anymore.
It does feel like that a little bit. I think the most important thing to do when you get like that, is just kind of focus in and get away from it. Remember, you have your own life to live, and you shouldn't be all consumed and put the weight of the world on your shoulders. I think it's admirable, but
admirable. That's so cute.
Is it?
You're so cute.
I enjoy keeping up with everything. It does weigh down occasionally. It's just a lot to keep up with, particularly when you know that there is so much propaganda on every front, both with kind of election hype and with foreign policy hype and everything. It's always important to kind of look beneath what they're telling you and then look how things are connected.
Yeah, let's find out who's making money off of it, really, is what it boils down to at the end of the day.
Almost every time, yep. In some way.
Hillary's not making any money. She's just doing everybody a public service.
Did you see the thing about her taking all the money that was meant for, I guess, I can't even remember exactly now, the state Democratic parties, and she kind of took it for herself in her campaign?
Of course she
I
did.
briefly saw that, but I didn't hear the.
I mean, they told her
details.
she stole the towels from the White House on their way out. Of course. I mean, when her and Bill moved out.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, that's why she wants to get back in office. She wants to try to figure out a better way to swipe all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hillary's got a lot of needs. I mean, she's very
High maintenance.
I mean, they're living hand to mouth, literally hand to mouth. Her and Bill together, huddled together in that little house of theirs. You think they even live in the same house anymore?
No.
Same state.
What was that about lesbian love letters earlier? Yeah.
Yeah, what was that story?
That was great. That was a great story.
There's
man.
always
I don't know if that's real or not.
I
I don't know. That took some thought.
Hey, some thought. Listen, every third story about Hillary is usually a lesbian love letter story in some capacity.
I don't
Whether
know.
you believe it or not, I don't know what to tell you.
I will say
about.
though that lesbians do love Hillary. Just throwing that out.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't make a blanket statement like that. I don't think that there's any group of people that, as a whole, that loves Hillary.
For Trump. All right.
Stereotypes. Stereotypes.
All lives matter.
Do it.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't do it right. All lives matter. Yeah.
There it is.
There you go.
That's my trademark. That's going to be my show trademark till I die.
It should
Till the
be.
show gets canceled in 3 weeks from now.
It'd be hard. It'd be
Finally,
rough.
Nick will finally pull the plug on it.
Yeah, it'd be okay. Got a good run.
Yeah, it was a good run.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. Kevin, I think this will be your show from now on.
I'll be glad to take the reins.
Good deal.
dear friends.
Good deal. See,
So,
Let y'all call back in.
we've already got our
occasionally.
next.
Me and Claire
sucker.
will do it.
We already got our next sucker line.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Me and Claire do it.
Oh, that'd be an awesome show, actually.
Me and Claire we'd kick it.
Yeah.
oh, did
Yeah, as long as you don't bring up patriotism or anything, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I meant by that,
Flaggetry.
right? Oh,
I know. I'm just joking.
Flag it.
Did you hear about another? I think there was another hospital bombing, wasn't there?
from
In Syria?
yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, I'm laughing, but
we're talking about
it's
it.
not funny at
Nobody's
all. I'm
talking
just
about.
like- Yeah.
Also, don't forget about Kunduz because they basically gave those the soldiers responsible, all the military people responsible for it, who literally targeted the hospital, knew where the GPS coordinates of the hospital were. They bombed it for an hour and a half amidst calls from the hospital saying that they were bombing and there were no fighters inside, and then shot at the people as they fled the hospital. Those people responsible for that got a slap on the wrist at most.
That was Afghanistan.
Oh, that
though,
was the
right?
sim-
Yeah, that's what I said. It's back in Kunduz, like we just heard that recently. So I think it's important to, highlight that because it's absolutely infuriating.
That was just a simple logistical mistake. I mean, it trust me, it won't happen again.
Yeah, there's all those, billions and billions of dollars we spend on our military, and they have, all these equipment failures all the time. It's lovely and so convenient,
It will happen again. Yeah.
I'm sure.
But it's just sad because everybody knows that it's just going to be that way. It's just going to be that way. But yeah, the new one, it's close to 30 people were killed. Rebel strikes. Let's see, 3 deaths in the hospital. So yeah, this is like, what was it, 2 days ago? And now another one.
Oh, it was actually above 50. Here, I have the statement from MSF, from Doctors Without Borders. It says more than 50 people have died on the strike on April 27th in the Al-Quds hospital.
No, this is different.
Well, so we're just going to bomb every hospital then.
No, this is different. This is different. This was reported on Tuesday. It was the Al-Dabi'i. I know I'm not saying that right, so please forgive me. Hospital, but it was in Syria. Yeah, so it wasn't Doctors Without Borders, but it was a.
It was a hospital.
Is it?
Nonetheless.
Sorry.
It was a hospital.
Is that the one that was bombed, that they said was bombed by Daesh, or
This
is this another one that is
this-
U.S. led?
This was bombed by rebels because it was being held in government-held areas of the city.
Yeah, that would be.
So, yeah, rebel strikes. Who would that be? There you go. So, yeah. But it's not a Doctors Without Borders. It's a word that I'm not going to embarrass myself again by trying to pronounce.
But Doctors Without Borders is just an organization, so they're still being represented. You know, obviously the Doctors Without Borders are supporting these guys and are making the case that a continued case that this stuff needs to be stopped, and the people really need to be held accountable for this stuff. It's atrocious what we're seeing, and nobody's being held accountable.
Yeah, that's why I brought up the Kunduz Hospital, because there were 42 people killed, you know, patients, staff, doctors, and just civilians. There were no fighters inside or anything else, and it was, I mean, we're lucky that we kind of caught the U.S. red-handed in that. I mean, they literally bombed the hospital for an hour and a half while Doctors Without Borders kept calling the State Department and everybody else saying, stop, you know, there's nobody here, quit bombing us. And they kept going for an hour and a half.
Was
and then
an accident.
Sounds like the U.S. liberty.
But then, you know, of course, they literally shot people from the plane. There was a plane circling above, and as people were running out of the hospital that was on fire, they were shooting them. I mean, this was an all-out attack on the hospital, and I think we just got caught red-handed that time. But with the fact that these hospitals keep getting bombed, it literally is beginning to look like they're doing it on purpose.
So
every time.
Logistically, why are they doing this?
I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. That's the only reason that it seems like it's.
Or where do people go to get fixed? The hospital.
Yeah. So you just go ahead and bomb the hospital so nobody gets fixed and everybody's just.
Yeah, why not?
Wow.
Kill them all. That's what the government says.
It is.
Well, it's not like we don't mind bombing children and stuff, so I suppose that's completely plausible.
Oh, man, did you hear when
as long as they're brown and not from America.
Ted Cruz, who's now out of the race, having that conversation with the Trump supporter, and the Trump supporter said something about how you're going to carpet bomb women and children, and the Trump guy was like, "Oh, I added the women and children part," and Cruz was just like, "Do you realize that Donald Trump literally said he was going to kill women and children?" Did you see that exchange, Claire?
I haven't seen that yet. I think I heard about that, but I haven't seen it yet.
It was pretty. It starts off pretty intense. Cruz is like, "Name one thing you like about Trump," and the guy was like, "Everything,"
which is probably the
and
most
repeats it a few
answer.
times. Yeah, repeats it a few times, and then finally, Cruz gets him to give an answer, and he just goes, "The wall."
Oh, well, I have to see it now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, Ted Cruz was so mad. So.
He's an angry person.
Well, he's insane. It doesn't matter. He's out. Whatever. Good riddance.
Well, lizard people can't expect to be, logical.
Man,
like
I
humans.
never believed in the whole lizard people thing, but I'm doubting it now with Ted Cruz.
I don't know. I got other
And he's
opinions
pretty
about him.
He's got some issues.
Yeah.
Telling him, owe some apologies to David Icke. So, unfortunately, we're left looking forward to either candidate that gets it. I don't think it's going to be a positive. I think we're looking at more turmoil and carnage in the Middle East.
More debt.
Because, that's the thing they say about Trump. He's going to fix the debt. He's going to fix debt. I guarantee you the government will balloon inside with Donald Trump as the president of the United States. There will be no small government anything.
No, because he has to prevent everything and protect everything. I mean, think of all the walls and all this other stuff. There's going to be so many regulations and this, that, and the other thing that he wants to enforce and kind of inflict on everyone. So of course it's going to be bigger government under him.
Well, I think even if he's lying about everything, it's still going to be bigger government.
It's still going to be bigger government either way we look. Even if Trump doesn't get in there and they put Hillary in there, we're going to get bigger government.
The reason I don't feel like you need to have the conversation about what's going to happen if Hillary Clinton becomes president. I personally don't believe she's going to. I know
because you're a Trump supporter. I know.
But two, I think we know what that's going to look like. I think that's pretty spelled out what a Hillary Clinton presidency would be.
Really quick, I got to point this out. I think Kevin would really love this. Justin King, who's the founder of the Fifth Column and also has written for Anti-Media.
Great dude.
Posted on Facebook, all you third-party supporters, it's time to get in gear. This is the best chance you will ever have.
Word.
So, yeah. This is weird, man. We're swimming in some weird waters, man.
We are.
Yes.
And again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. It's all a puppet show, and it's already been decided. I don't know. I kind of think the corporate-backed pony's gonna make it, but whatever.
I don't think it really matters who makes it. I mean, there really is not going to be any significant difference on anything, either one of these people that gets in office.
Well, with Trump, you'd at least get some sort of resistance that would get tied and gridlocked up in Congress. But, yeah, Hillary, you're going to get streamlined business as usual, and as we pointed out earlier, a lot more of it.
Yeah.
Screwed. We're screwed.
Yep.
But,
into bum.
That's so. But there has to be, that's why you have to, I think, focus on the people in your life, and love the people in your life, and love the people around you, and, try to spread, a positive message. Be good to people. I mean, that's the very first thing I said at the beginning of the show is I'm tired of doing good because, that if you do good, then a lot of these problems, at least in our own personal lives, they start getting eliminated.
Well, it's hard to do good when people don't believe exactly like you do. When people believe, and that's
you got to put all that aside.
And
people are people.
You're absolutely right.
People
but that
are
right
people.
there is what's
and you should help anybody.
That right there is that mentality is what's fueling this election and made it so strange. All these Bernie supporters, all these Trump supporters, even some of the Hillary supporters are starting to pop out of the woodworks now. There's a lot of feels out there. There's a lot of emotions and a lot of, just really, really just bitter rhetoric.
It's just so bizarre.
And none of it matters.
That people...
No, but it's all imaginary.
Right.
It's like fighting over your favorite wrestling character.
It is exactly like that.
Hulk Hogan was way better than the Ultimate Warrior. Are you crazy, man? Oh, man, Ultimate Warrior could kick his butt. And meanwhile,
he probably actually would.
It's a scripted performance. And that's
meanwhile, Vince is making money no matter what.
Yeah.
I should have recorded that.
No matter which one you're pulling for.
Claire, do you hear both of them just admitted that they understood that it was all fake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Two of us heard that.
Wait.
I think Kevin's trying to pick a fight. Man, I'm sorry.
I didn't understand that you guys realized that it was, all scripted.
What, are you talking about wrestling?
Wrestling, yeah.
Wait,
Dude,
what?
We will have a beatdown in this room right now.
Oh,
Is that, you want to go at it?
I'm not even getting into this.
You feel froggy jump, buddy. Andre the Giant.
I'm tired, man.
One of the greatest men that ever lived.
I'm tired, boss.
So here's what needs to happen.
Kevin.
And look, I'll be the first person to say it. Somebody's got to be the one. Take it upon myself. I'm going to come up with a game plan here about moving forward with this Iraq war thing and trying to do some sort of maybe online protest. We're going to do something, and we're going to try to raise awareness because I think it's coming.
I totally agree with you, but I think that it needs to be kind of a general awareness of what's going on, and we need to keep our eyes on all of those little different facets, like in the Middle East and also with Russia.
I think
it needs to be a concerted and coordinated effort.
I think you have to be specific because otherwise it'll just be so open-ended, not asking for anything when we need to be asking for, hey, do not go back into Iraq again because that is stupid.
Leave it alone. It hasn't
Don't
worked.
go back.
It hasn't worked thus far. It won't work now. There's no sense in us trying to do the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Talk about
Go
the
in,
worst
knock the whole
idea.
pile down, set up another puppet regime. Then they start getting involved in religious wars and all sorts of stuff that has plagued that area for thousands of years. How are we going to fix something, a war and a fight that's been going on for thousands of years? You know, our interest, we need to go ahead and bring our troops home and quit throwing money away at countless billions upon billions upon billions upon trillions of dollars.
It's a war of greed.
Absolutely.
A war of greed.
Because meanwhile, you have some of the upper crust have financial interests there for the infrastructure, for the oil they can get out of it. And it even in like Dick Cheney's case, he hedged his bets and actually, okay, well, the troops are going to go over there. They're going to need their canteens and they're going to need their backpacks and their tents and all this other stuff. And Halliburton will provide.
Mm-hmm. And I want to explain something that I said to you earlier, Kevin, when I said that I didn't like the word patriotism. And this is why. Because patriotism is used to take men, young women, men, whatever, into war and die for no reason. That's what patriotism does.
Well, no, it's. I think you said it yourself, though.
It's an emotional attachment to something, so you will send your child out to die.
Well, and I'm not trying to defend patriotism, but you said it yourself when you said that it's being used as a tool.
And that's why I have a problem.
But religion can be said the same way, but you and I both are Christians. You know, religion.
But I'm not going to go to war either.
No, I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying it's being used as propaganda. It's being used and manipulated a lot like anything can be. But again, remember, when I say patriotism, I'm, obviously disagreeing with your government is supposedly the highest form of patriotism.
Sure, but I don't advocate going to war for religion. I don't advocate going to war for any of it.
Oh, neither do I. And I would say doing so would be unpatriotic in my view.
See what you did there. Wow.
Oh,
Kevin, you can
like
fire
that.
Kevin right now.
Like that.
There was a video I saw earlier, and I've got to find the name of it. I'm gonna have all the info and come back on next time. It was an older propaganda video I saw just a split second of earlier, and it was like completely different than the world we live in now. It was nuts. It was predicting the future. How we'll find it. One of those. Yeah.
Okay.
So fascinating.
Send me a link.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Hey, before we head out, can I remind everybody to check out Stephen Ruth's Facebook page? He, of course, is the Red Light Robber Baron. I forget how exactly.
The
his
Red Light
nickname.
Robin Hood.
Red Light Robin.
I think that's more appropriate. Yeah.
It's Stephen Ruth, Stephen Ruth. He's facing 22 years. He's got some great videos laying it out as to why.
Yeah, we need to get loud about that and make sure that doesn't happen.
We really should. That's another big event. Another.
Hey, everybody,
case.
listen, it's time to get loud about this shit. It's time to stop talking about it, behind closed doors and the closed windows. It's time to get up and start talking. We need to come together, and we need to come up with a valid solution once and for all.
That's it. Just a couple more minutes here. Claire, any last words before we go?
No.
Okay, that's it. Lost your time anyway. You know what? Just stand up in your daily life. Stand up for what's right. Stand up for what's good. Don't punch somebody out because of the political candidate you support, because it's not that serious. Love the people around you. Don't give in to the theatrics, the show, because Vince McMahon's going to make his money either way. No matter, who he says is going to win the match. Don't forget it. For Anti-Media Radio, I am SM Gibson, Kevin Knight, Shannon Madden, Claire Burnish. Thank you so much. See you on Thursday, Anti-Media Radio.
Y'all get loud.
In the Fed, baby.
Out.
I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the stereo.